That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting, say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl, somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature, that mean extorted it. They forging it, if news ain't good informant, so informing them there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this, we port in ships important. Yes, of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting, say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?
Oh, hey. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? In a clown world, people think they can go to space, and we have just decided to add an entire branch to the military to do it. Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up? Oh, we hit 1,000 on DLive. Yeah, that's right. That's correct, ladies and gentlemen. We have hit 1,000 the day before the last day. I don't know if this would have technically been the last day or not, but, you know, boom. That's right. I'd like to take this moment to just thank all the legends that, aren't drowning in depravity and are a bunch of squirt boys. I'd like to thank the grabblers that just make this so much more meaningful to have still bucked the system and rallied together to become whatever it's called, valued partner. All right, let's get into the gravy, shall we? So, what is Space Force, you may ask yourself? Just what is it exactly? I'm glad you asked. Well, technically, every branch of the military already has its own Air Force, if you will. And then we have the Air Force, whatever that difference would be. And now we have the Space Force. The idea being, of course, the Air Force will be integrated into the Space Force because, again, each military already has their own Air Force of sorts. Each branch has their own Air Force. So now we get to go to space. Now, I think that most of the people in my chat, they kind of already know not to fall for any nonsense when it comes to space or aliens. Oh, yeah, look, there we are. Just some legends over on DLive. We're rocking out. I think most people know if they tell you aliens are coming, you just don't fall for it. It's completely stupid. But some people do not. And believe it or not, if they did pull some deception out along those lines right now, almost everyone would fall for it. Almost everyone. Don't believe me? Well, let's look into it then. Let's just see. Let's see if people were being primed to fall for this. I mean, surely not, though, right? Because well, they're just going to come out and help us. They're just going to tell us the truth. Because when the government lies to you for decades and kills people to hide the fact that they lied to you and start entire wars and literally work for foreign states and all have hand cramps because they're just straight up constantly grabbing everything and subverting all remnants of truth, they decide to then come out in syndicated mainstream television on the History Channel and admit to you that they lied. But don't worry, this is why we lied. Here's the truth. And as they simultaneously tell you, we've been lying to you for decades. Here's the real truth, though. People will still take the new story immediately from the source as they admit they lied to you. Oh, this isn't a different source. These are people trying to blow the whistle on mainstream TV, owned and ran by the same people that are up above our government. Anyway, I digress, as you clearly should know by now if you follow this channel. So let's check it out in a world where everything's backwards. Let's check in a climactic trailer of the space porn around the corner.
I think it's terrifying. I mean, this seems potentially like one of the biggest stories of my lifetime. And I don't care if it's about UFOs or whatever you call it. Something we don't understand is going to be very close to our military aircraft.
The technologies related to energy generation should come out first.
This hybrid aerospace underwater craft is able to basically generate an electromagnetic field.
It is President Trump's belief that the United States must remain as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and the air. And your charge is to see to that mission with the United States Space Force.
There were 3 people on my team assassinated, and I was almost killed.
Aww.
With a lot of people that would like to know what's going on. It's a matter of national security.
Apparently, just recovered our
Guys, if you don't instantly know this guy is full of it, okay, stop watching porn.
It's a matter of national security.
just recovered our off-world vehicles not made on this earth.
The president will respond to the subject the way they want them to. There's a black box with all the technologies that give us a civilization that's sustainable, peaceful, etc. And it's been around for decades.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world.
What's the Great Deception going to be, Austin? How are they going to sell this, Austin? There's no way. You're crazy. How could they ever pull this off? What could they possibly say to everybody that everyone would agree on fall for this trick? I can't imagine what they would ever say. What would be the sales pitch?
That's sustainable, peaceful, etc. And it's been around for decades.
Oh, there it is.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world. Are we alone?
Look, it's the narrative that's being launched, which is a false narrative, is that we're not alone and that those civilizations are a threat. The problem is that the public has to be informed and involved.
Give me a brief statement saying, hallelujah, I'm finally vindicated.
I'm not completely convinced they're going to let this stay like it is.
But the people who are surrounding that level of our politicians.
Dude, tell me this dude doesn't look just like a Ninja Turtle. Dude, we got to investigate this. I mean, come on. If that's not a Ninja Turtle, I don't even know what one is. All right. What's up, Michelangelo?
Politicians and government are not told, like the movie Independence Day, where Will say, let's go kick alien butt.
Okay. All right. Go eat your pizza, you stupid little grabbler. Anyway, that's what's coming right there. It's just cue the music. Cue the violin. It's going down. Our intergalactic brethren are on the way. Austin, are you drunk? Am I not allowed to just be in a good mood? You know? What is that with people? Like, one time when I fell asleep right before the stream and I was just like, dude, I'm about to fall asleep. I got an email talking about, you looked high last night. You know? It's like, if you people don't chill out, damn, stop dissecting me, man. I talk to you every day. Some days I talk a little bit different. I don't know. I'm a human being that's in different moods and stuff. Jeez Louise. All right, anyway. In a world. Actually, let's check this out. We've already seen this, but here's a little grabbler. Mike Pence, you know, trumpets. And we've already watched this on one of the streams, but yeah, we did. We got 1,000. Howdy, Austin. What's up, Globebusters? Bob from Globebusters, a legend. What's up, Mr. Anderson? Be the change. That's Nathan Thompson. Because the Grabblers had to come take off his channel. Anyway, let's watch out. Let's hear what's going on here, which most people have, again, already heard this, probably even on here. But let's see. What's going on with Space Force? What's the news?
So it is my honor, on behalf of the President of the United States, to announce that henceforth, the men and women of the United States Space Force will be known as Guardians.
Just look like how much of a sodomite he looks like when he says this.
Known as Guardians.
Is that just me?
As Guardians.
Anyway, yeah, obviously a play on like the idea of a guardian angel.
Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians will be defending our nation for generations to come. But on behalf of your Commander-in-Chief, let me urge each and every one of you Guardians to keep pushing.
What's so funny? Interesting that he's our Commander-in-Chief. Oh, that's what the hierarchy of the fallen ones were. They had chiefs. That's a coincidence.
Keep pushing. Keep pushing the vision and the mission of the United States Space Force.
Oh, what is that? What's that, Mr. Grabbler? What is that mission you're talking about?
Which is to ensure that America remains as dominant in space and from space as we are on land and sea and air.
Okay. That's a cool story. That was just to show you. They're talking about changing the names. Now we know what they're called. They're called the Guardians. All right, so they are clearly engineering some type of reveal. But no, they're not. Dustin, you're crazy. Where have you been, bro? Oh, Austin, why do you just keep talking about flat Earth? Wait, it's not even a big deal. What should even matter? Oh, I don't know. Just the whole world's gonna believe aliens are real. Right now, still to this day, what is today's date? The 30th. December 30th, 2020. I'm saying they're gonna come in and tell you some type of truth about aliens. There will be an alien disclosure here soon. They're going to say all this crazy stuff about space exploration, technological advancement, some type of interaction with these different intergalactic extraterrestrial civilizations. And they're going to use some type of technological advancements to actually basically dazzle you into believing, well, this must be from some type of an advanced society or whatever. And as I say that right now, I'm the crazy one. I'm the crazy one. All right. So we just watched the freaking vice president say, oh, the Space Force guys, when they're not called squirt boys, we're going to call them the Guardians. The Guardians of what, you creepy little psychopath? What are you talking about? Oh, we need to militarize our presence in space. What are you preparing for battle for? Who are you trying to fight that's up above us? Oh, that's right. You're a grabbler, and you work for the Watchers and the Fallen Ones, even if unbeknownst to your dumb self. And that is, in fact, what you're trying to start a war with. It's the Angels. Oh, Austin, you're crazy. I think I live on a magic spinning cartoon ball that defies physics, but you're crazy if you think there are angels up above us. I came from nothing and evolved from a rock, and then a fish, and then an ape. And then they just stopped evolving. That's why there's just ape and humans. You're just a missing link. It's not a big deal, guys. We clearly came from rocks, though. And you're crazy. You think there are angels. Yet the guardian angels. Guardian angels. Where did you even hear that term? Is that term in the scriptures? I know there are archangels. Where's the term guardian angel? Wonder what that means. I wonder who are the guardians. You're going to call the Space Force soldiers the Guardians. Oh, you're reading too much into it, Austin. That means you're probably still watching a lot of porn. Continuing on, in a world where the vice president is so unbearably lame, you cannot listen to more than one consecutive minute of him speaking without having an irresistible urge to dropkick him in the throat. Let's check out what the grabbler known as Donald Trump himself has to say, talking to his son.
This is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Will you ever, before you leave office, will you let us know if there's aliens? Because this is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
I know, it sounds almost ridiculous, but it's actually the real question.
It sounds like a cute question, but it's actually, there are millions.
Look how uncomfortable he is around his own father. Look. He's uncomfortable. What? Look at his body language here.
But it's actually the real question.
Sounds like
He's so uncomfortable. You're so fake. You're just a bunch of little sodomites. There's no telling what goes on behind closed doors. I'm not going to interrupt just a minute. If you don't see the scripts by now, you guys have got to unplug. You got to unplug. I did a whole stream telling you that Trump's our JFK. If you don't see similarities yet, I mean, guys, you got to unplug. You tell me that this dude's not clearly being propped up to be the guy, the loose cannon that would, and actually does, tell us the quote-unquote truth about aliens. Let's just listen to what he's got to say.
Before you leave office, will you let us know if there's aliens? Because this is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
I know, it sounds almost ridiculous, but it's actually the real question.
It sounds like a cute question, but it's actually, there are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify?
A very interesting place.
All right. It's easy to look at this dude like a complete and total baffling, moronic, psychopathic, depraved, potential sodomite. But to underestimate his intellectual competence, I believe, is a massive mistake. He's quite calculative with the nonsense that he says. And so let's really pay attention to what he says here. Is there any foreshadowing in this behavior? I will accept your paper at the end of the week. I'm expecting you to formulate a coherent thesis.
I won't talk to you about what I know about it.
What do you know about it, you little psycho?
I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but It's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify it? You'll take it?
Well, I'll have to think about that one.
Well, all right.
All right. I mean, they're just straight up showing you to your face that they're going to do this. Let's watch some mainstream. Guys, I guess this is coming. The reason that they came out with Space Force was to show you right in front of your face that it's coming. So they want you to be ready for it. They want you to be ready, even if you don't understand that you're being conditioned for it. We've got to militarize our presence in space. There's a war in space. Oh, wow. Space. Trump is talking about aliens. Oh, could Trump release the truth about the aliens? What would cause everyone to love Trump? Austin, your prediction can't be right. Everyone's not going to start to support Trump. What if he comes out and says, here's the truth about the aliens? While we're at it, here's the truth about JFK. While we're at it, here's JFK Jr. and the Federal Reserve and the CIA. If he comes out and tells people, look, the government's known about aliens for a while, I'm declassifying it. If you think that people won't love him as some like bearer of truth, you're beyond naive. And this is prior to all the other potential things. So anyway, the point here is this is kind of old news gravy in lots of ways, but now we live in 2020 where they're actually starting to roll it out. They're actually starting to roll out the alien psyop. Please tell me you guys are not going to fall for the alien psyop. I have a feeling we may lose like flat earth, or surely not, bro, but they're going to just put something in the sky, and people are so dumbed down now. Those people that think we live on a magic cartoon ball, they're not just going to fall for the aliens. They're going to be on Discord the same day, ready to find me, talking about how you feel now. You're so like bragging about the alien psyop they believe. Like that is what's coming, guys. It's very obvious. There's like a 10% chance they absorb the flat earth truth. The other 90% to me is extraterrestrial brethren coming to save the day and teach you how to be a special boy. You can squirt all day. All right, in a world.
Space Force.
No, it's not the name of a terrible sci-fi movie.
It's a joke.
Think armed forces in space. President Trump directed the Pentagon to immediately establish the 6th and smallest branch of the Defense Department. But what the heck is a Space Force anyway? And what would it even do? We have the facts.
It is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance.
Trump's comments may have caught some off guard, but they followed decades of discussion about a separate Space Force.
There's like actually no possible way under the sun that I'm listening to that goober. So, all right, if you don't know, here you go. This is Dr. Carol Rosine, I think is actually how you pronounce the last name. Don't care too much. Worked with Warner Van Braun down the end of his little gravel oil life. And he had some interesting things to say about their sequential plan of deception. Most of you probably know about this as well, but some people may not. We're going to play and listen to some of what this lady has to say. Don't worry, I will be routinely pausing so that we don't all fall asleep. So please enjoy your flight here on Gravy Express in a world where this woman wants to make her hair look like a poodle. She worked with Warner Van Braun again. So if y'all have never heard this, let's check out what she has to say about what this Grabbler has to say. And if somehow you don't know who Warner Van Braun is because you're a loser, well then he is the Nazi SS officer that was brought over via Operation Paperclip, put in charge of NASA's space exploration program. He then wrote a science fiction book with the main character's name being Elon about discovering the first civilization, establishing the first civilization on Mars. Again, Warner Van Braun, a Nazi SS officer, was brought over to the United States via Operation Paperclip. He was put in charge of the space exploration program of NASA. He then wrote a science fiction book wherein which the main character, whose name was Elon, discovered the first civilization on Mars. This book was written in the 50s. Let's see what else this creepy little graveler had to say. Before we move on, Gobelecki T. Hannah Greer the Ninja Turtle. Or haha, Greer the Ninja Turtle. Dude, so funny. That dude looks just like a Ninja Turtle, bro. Like, just like like as much like a Ninja Turtle in human form as you could, you know. But thank you for the super chat, bro. Much love. Much appreciated. All right, let's check this out. This is the girl. She worked with him. She's going to lay out how she kind of knew him. So let's just check out if you somehow don't know about this girl. But let's just Warner Van Braun again. Yeah, I just told you who he is. You can go fact check everything I said if we got some Globers in here or something. And I love you, Globers. It's okay. I don't. It's whatever. You need to figure this out before you're running out of time. Let me check and make sure. Yeah, you're running out of time. You're gonna fall for aliens. You need to get your act together. So now that you know who this is, let's listen to what she says that the Warner Van Braun creepy psychopath had to say. In a world.
I met the late Dr. Werner von Braun in early 74. At that time, von Braun was dying of cancer, but he assured me that he would live a few more years in order to tell me about the game that was being played, that game being the effort to weaponize space, to control the Earth from space and space itself. Von Braun's purpose in life during the last years of his life, his dying years, was to educate the public and decision makers about why space-based weapons are a dumb, dangerous, destabilizing, too costly, unnecessary, unworkable, undesirable idea. The strategy that Werner von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy. In fact, when I met him in 74, they were the enemy.
Okay, let's pause there. We're going to break down all of this because this woman obviously doesn't fully know what she's talking about. She's a woman. I'm just kidding. So anyway, the Russians were already the enemy, the geopolitical adversary, in which freedom in America was going to beat Russia and the communists. And they actually said that the Cold War went on for like 42 years. If you Google how long the Cold War was, they'll say 42 years on Google. And just to scare people into submission and to blindly force themselves to fight their own conscious logical reason into convincing themselves that they believe the story that they went to the moon. Well, because we were beating communism. So Russia was the first boogeyman to justify the militarization of the idea of space exploration. Now, of course, this woman who clearly needs to stop dyeing her hair so much, she thinks space is real. She thinks planets are real, and she thinks you can really go out there in the medium that defies physics. So you have to keep that in mind. She's going to be pretty significantly off here, but the question is, did Werner Van Braun even fully understand all of it? And was more likely, as you will see here in just a second, she just misunderstood what he was saying. Well, because she's a woman. I'm just kidding again. I love women. Calm down. Anyway, I got some jokes though. Don't you find it interesting that it's called human, woman, right? Mankind, dishwash her. That's why the wedding dress has to be white. The dishwasher has to match the rest of the appliances. All right, I'm just kidding. Now that I've triggered everybody and we can just break through all the little, my feelings are hurt. It's okay, guys. It's a compliment. Women can clean dishes better. All right. Anyway, we're just going to move on to what this girl says. Keep in mind, she doesn't understand everything. And anyway, there's the Russia ordeal. That was actually this huge psychological operation safety net to where, oh, they fixed the moon landing. Well, because they're defying physics in the footage, and you can actually see the cord connected to the dude's back. You can literally see the wire connected to the dude's backpack in the video, dude. Like literally. Anyway, but if they faked it, they just faked it because we had to fight communism for America. And I'm a boomer, damn it. And we went to the moon. What have you done, millennial? We went to the moon. You see that beautiful rock up there? We landed on there. We landed on there. We played golf on there. We were such a badass generation. We went and played golf on the moon. You can't even get out of debt. You can't. We went to the moon. I know that I'm not that good at the impersonation of the boomer, but my point is, clearly, we didn't go to the moon, and the Russia thing was a safety net so that if you start to find out they lied about the moon, then you're like, oh, they lied because of Russia. It must have been the Russians. In a world.
Identified enemy. We were told that they had killer satellites. We were told that they were coming to get us and control us, the dirty commies, that whole story. First, the Russians were the enemy against whom we're going to build space-based weapons. Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow. We heard a lot about terrorism. Then we were going to identify third world country crazies. We now call them nations of concern.
Oh, you mean like Iran?
He said that would be the third enemy against whom we would be needing to build space-based weapons. And the next enemy was asteroids.
Oh, they've been doing that for years now. Asteroid this, asteroid that. Oh, NASA might formulate some new technology to help fight off the threat of asteroids.
Now, at this point, he kind of chuckled the first time he said it. Asteroids, against asteroids, we're going to build space-based weapons. So it was funny then. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over, during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie. He didn't mention a timeline, but he said that it was going to be speeding up faster than anybody could possibly imagine. That the effort to put weapons in space was not only based on a lie, but would accelerate past the point of people even understanding it until it was already up there and too late.
Oh my gosh. So let's apply that to today. Oh, well, Trump, the creepy little psychopath, that's orange, he came out and he says, oh, it's just a space force. So then everyone just like, okay, it's just Trump, whatever's going on right now. And some flat earthers still run around defending him like he's somehow on your side when he's literally the one that came up with Space Force under his administration. But anyway, so they've been doing all kinds of militarization regarding the idea of space exploration and space military, and no one's paying attention. It's just, since that was announced, it's been like, what, a year since Space Force was officially a thing. There's no telling how fast, right in front of everyone, they've made huge changes. Like what, you ask? Oh, well, for example, there are Starlinks all over the sky now. All over the sky. All over where you live. Everywhere that you live, all over the world, there is now a network of Starlinks all throughout the sky. Yeah. How could they sneak this infrastructure in? Oh, I don't know. Tell everyone that air's going to kill them and stay in their house for a year, and then just go start putting Starlinks in the sky. No one's going to pay attention. They've been seen shooting intersection patterns of lasers, which is literally how you would be able to implement some type of holographic technology. Holography requires an intersection pattern. Certainly, we're discussing the use case of, say, the idea of Project Bluebeam. So they've literally done that part. They've had someone come in, mention Space Force, the militarization of Space Force, the idea of some type of weaponry regarding space and militarization of it. Everyone just breezed it off. They didn't really pay attention. They expedited the entire idea to set up the PSYOP in a more like cemented foundation to where they can implement the actual intricacies of it. They then ran out and rolled out 5Gs everywhere that are going to create a network, a system that's established on the ground, coordinated with the Starlinks that are now all over the sky, an insane amount, and they keep on building them. But that's all a coincidence. You're a coincidence theorist. You're a damn coincidence theorist, bruh. In a world where Warner Van Braun's secretary lady tells us about the aliens.
In 1977, I was at a meeting in Fairchild Industries in a conference room called the War Room. This is 1977. And they were talking about creating a war in the Gulf region when there was $25 billion in the space-based weapons program that yet had not been identified. It wasn't called the Strategic Defense Initiative, at least, until 1983. This weapons system then had obviously been going on for some time that I didn't know anything about. So I stood up in this meeting in 1977 and it said, I'd like to know why we're talking about space-based weapons against these enemies.
All right, we'll finish that towards the end of the stream. There's a little bit of gravy in here for sure. I mean, like I said, you got to obviously apply discernment. You get the idea. Warner Van Braun always talking about their final move was alien invasion. And look what's going on now. We'll come back in a second. So let's see. Oh, are they normalizing this? I don't know. Are they normalizing it? I mean, again, they went on mainstream syndicated television and told you, we've been lying to you for decades, and actually there are aliens. Let me make a TV show called Ancient Aliens, in which we actually just subvert the entire truth about the fact that we originally lied to you about how they were actually advanced back in the day, and we told you that they were primitive, mythological idiots, and everything that they wrote was allegorical and metaphorical. Yet they had a better understanding of the nature of the Earth, understanding it was a geocentric stationary plane, and were clearly more advanced to us. Are their architecture and masonry alone, megalithic and monolithic structures show you that's what they told you isn't true? Well, it doesn't matter. The human beings that we've brainwashed and dumbed down with all kinds of chemical poisons are so incredibly naive and just aimlessly wandering around with nihilistic, apathetic worldviews where they're just empty, looking for any answer that we give them. They'll actually believe the nonsensical story and fairy tale story that we tell them until we come in and then we update the story. So people run around saying that the pyramids were built by 30 years of slave labor with pulley systems, or maybe 20 years, and that they brought tons and tons of rocks 500 miles over the Nile with no technological capability of doing so. And we still can't imitate or replicate them, but they were just stupid people scratching their heads, like drawing on the wall with sticks. And so then they came out and said, oh no, they were so advanced, aliens were helping them out. And instead of being like, oh, you lied to me with every single aspect of academia and indoctrination of schools, you told me all these different timelines, you told me how stupid they were, how primitive they were, that they were just primitive expressions to try to explain the inexplicable, which would be the nature of nature itself, and that they were just morons. They had no idea what they were talking about, and that they were very primitive. And now you're going to come back and then tell us that isn't the case. Not only were they not primitive, they were very advanced, so advanced. In fact, we can't explain how advanced they were unless aliens came down here and helped them out. And people will immediately take the new freaking story. Like, oh, they're not primitive. Oh, aliens. They'll eat it. They'll go from one plate to the next in a state of pure cognizance, in which they will consume whatever food for thought is given to them on a silver platter. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. All you have to do is come out and start to say it's in mainstream places. Once your buddy down the street thinks it, everyone thinks now we can talk about aliens. Everyone's ready for it. 2020 has been so crazy. If they came out and said it yet tomorrow, it wouldn't even be a meme, but for a couple of days. Everyone's in prime condition to accept something crazy. So anyway, in a world, they don't talk about this. They're not trying to talk about this and get everyone ready for the alien disclosure psyop, Austin. No way. Oh, this is Fox News. This is how Fox News segment starts out right here. Yeah, this is not weird.
Just a few weeks ago, the Navy admitted for the first time that several UFO videos were real, meaning they show actual area phenomenon that so far the Pentagon cannot explain. Now, a UFO investigations group says they have found materials that could potentially be physical evidence of UFOs. Luis Elizondo is Director of Special Programs at the To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. He also headed the Pentagon's Office for Investigating UFO Incidents, and it's the star of the History Channel's Unidentified. He joins us. Luis, thanks so much for coming on. So, what is this?
This guy looks like a psychopath. What? Oh, we're going to talk about this idea of a fringe topic. I know what we'll do. We'll have the psycho on here to really gain credibility. Look, just watch this, dude. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to interrupt, but this is just hilarious.
It's the star of the History Channel's Unidentified. He joins us. Luis, thanks so much for coming on. So, what is this material, and why could it shed light on the question of what UFOs might be?
Sure. Well, our company over the last year and a half has actually obtained quite a bit of material. And let me first preface by saying some of that material, its provenance is frankly hearsay, while the provenance of some of this material has been substantiated. And ultimately, we're in the process of analyzing this material at 3 different levels. We're looking at its physical properties, its chemical, or if you will, molecular properties, and then ultimately its atomic properties. And it's really at that point we'll be able to make some sort of definitive conclusion, keeping in mind that we still have to follow the scientific process and methods, and at the same time have peer review. So it's not just as simple as coming out and saying, hey, look what we found. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done.
I bet that's right, and of course you'll be challenged, as you ought to be challenged, I think. But quickly sum it up for us. Why do you think this material might be connected to UFOs?
Well, without getting into a lot of detail right now, because it's frankly, it's too speculative for me at this point to say why I think something. At the end of the day, it's going to be what the analysis tells us. And if you have, for example, interesting isotopic ratios that are not normally found, let's say, on this planet, then you have to scratch your head and either A, it's been engineered that way, or B, it came from somewhere else. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to find out.
So these are materials brought to you by people who say this is at the site of a UFO incident or a crash.
In some cases, yes. Again,
so it's an isotropic combination that doesn't exist on the Earth, but someone brought it to him from the Earth. Yeah, this guy checks out. This dude smoked crack for breakfast, bro.
Incident or a crash.
In some cases, yes. Again, unfortunately, I can't elaborate too much with some of these individuals. We do have non-disclosure agreements, but it's from various sources, both private and governmental.
It goes without saying, I hope...
Does this dude not remind you of Alex Jones? This is Alex Jones with a goatee, bro. This dude just got through watching tranny porn, kicking it with Alex Jones, smoking a doobie with the human thumb that is Joe Rogan.
Various sources, both private and governmental.
That's the Alex Jones face, dude. Like when he tenses together his mouth real tight like that, like it makes it a fact what he said.
Both private and governmental.
I hope you'll come back as you get to the bottom of this. We remain skeptical but open-minded on this and all things. It's great to see you. Thank you so much.
I don't know why things like that are so funny to me. Anyway, what else we got here? In a world. I was never a big Star Trek fan, so I can't go too in depth with this right here, but all that, as you can see with the thumbnail, which is pretty fire thumbnail. Yeah, my thumbnail game is really hit or miss, but every once in a while I'll make a pretty fire one. As you can see, they're the same freaking symbol, basically, Star Trek and Space Force, right? So what is Starfleet Academy? Again, I'm not like a movie guy or a sci-fi guy or a space guy. I was never a Star Wars or Star Trek guy. I just saw The Matrix at age 28, right? So I can only discuss this some, but some interesting similarities here. The world's just a play and they're trolling us, so let's just check it out. They're trolling us. What are you talking about? They're trolling us.
Like a paradise. But besides the streams and fountains and mystical landscape, there's also one other unique feature of this tranquil gem situated in the middle of Los Angeles. And that's the structure that you see located to the right of the screen. Does it look familiar to you at all? If you're a fan of the Star Trek series, this is the location where they filmed the scenes with the Starfleet Academy on Earth, also referred to as the Space Academy, used for the education and training of individuals for service in Starfleet. The Academy motto was Ex Astris Scientia, in Latin meaning knowledge comes from the stars. The Space Academy was said to be founded in the year 2161, or established in some form before the founding of the Federation, or the United Federation of Planets, the name for the fictional interstellar government that sent Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, and the crew of the Starship Enterprise on its mission of peaceful exploration. Commonly referred to as the Federation, it was introduced in the television show Star Trek and represented an interstellar union of planetary governments that agreed to exist semi-autonomously under a single central government based on the principles of universal liberty, rights, and equality, and to share their knowledge and resources in peaceful cooperation, scientific development, space exploration,
and sodomy.
Mutual defense. The total number of formal member worlds was over 150 in the 24th century, and at its height, it numbered 350 members and encompassed 8,000 light years of space. Unlike its imperial rivals, who derive power from a single species subjugating other races, the Federation's various member worlds joined willingly and were equals in the Federation's democratic society. While Star Trek was a fictional series, there were
All right. So real fast right there. I'm sure you put that together. The Star Trek script is basically being played out in front of you like in the world stage. This is what they do all the time. That's what the moon landing story was. It was just a combination of H.G. Wells fictional books and Jules Verne. Is that his name? Jules Verne, yeah. Jules Verne. Yeah, to do with the creepy statue of him reaching up to the sky out of his grave. Anyway, so did y'all just hear that? I don't want to play it again. I think everyone heard it, but I'll play it again if I need to play it again. He basically just described what's going to happen. He just described they all unify under peace and love and a one world socialistic government where enlightenment, technology, peace, and prosperity is placed above all. And there's a place on Earth where we can train to go to space. It's kind of like Space Force, but just in the science fiction way. This is real life. Aren't you excited, you squirt boy, NASA fanboy losers? I want to go to space. I want to be a special boy. I can go to space too. I can be a guardian. I'm going to be a guardian, Austin. All right, let's see what else we got here. This dude's cool. Check out his channel. You got to, if you have discernment, of course. So, you know, if you don't, I didn't know. So here's another thing I think a lot of people probably have heard about. But if you haven't, this just happened. Aliens in hiding until mankind is ready, says ex-Israeli space head. This is modern news. This is actually what's going on. I'm sure a lot of you know about most of this. Just putting the pieces together. I mean, dude, I can't even make it more obvious at this point. They just know people are docile, probably from all the fluoride they consume. Maybe it's all the pornography they watch, or just all the overall depravity that they live in general. I don't know. It could be a combination of all that, you know, like sin and hating Yeshua. But I'm not gonna get on my soapbox of preaching in a world.
The former head of Israel's space program.
Yeah, this is real. This is real life. Real life. Okay, so former Israeli space chief says U.S. in contact with Galactic Federation of Aliens that Trump knows. All right.
That is up until now.
So this is from the former head of Israel's space program, Chaim Shed, who says that aliens have been in contact with the U.S. and with Israel. What does he refer to? The Galactic Federation that he says has been in touch with Israel and the U.S. He also says that Donald Trump was going to reveal their existence, but then basically got talked out of it, I suppose.
Yeah, and look, he's 87 years old. According to him, he says he has nothing to lose. He's a decorated former Israeli general, former space security chief. He's been awarded a medal 3 separate times, 2 secretly, for actions that kept Israel safe. Clearly somebody who was regarded well by that government. Now, what he's saying is kind of crazy. He says...
I would just like to point out that if you get a medal from Israel and it's a secret medal, that's a huge honor to them, right? It's a huge honor. If you get to be part of the group that just secretly subverts things, the secret medals are the ones that are actually important in Israel. If you're publicly acknowledged, then you did not subvert and use enough usury. So your medal has actually got an asterisk on it. Just so y'all know how to interpret war medals from Israel.
Exactly. for actions that kept Israel safe. Clearly somebody who was regarded well by that government. Now, what he's saying is kind of crazy. He says that the cooperation of, there's a secret pact between the U.S. government and the Galactic Federation, that the cooperation includes a secret underground base on Mars where there are American and alien representatives.
Last week, a high-ranking and distinguished former Israeli space security chief not only claimed that extraterrestrials exist and President Trump knows about it, but that a galactic federation also exists and is waiting to
it's just so ridiculous, dude. Just absolutely ridiculous.
Experiments here. There's also, he says, a secret underground base on Mars. Aliens for man who
in underground bases.
All right, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna come back over here for a second. If somehow you're watching this and you think you live on a magic spinning cartoon ball that defies physics, well, here I have to break the news to you. You may think that you hate religion, but that was actually brought to you by the most corrupt religious establishment ever, the Jesuit order. And in fact, Jesuit priest, the one that came up with the Big Bang Theory. You don't live on a spinning ball. The Earth is not a ball, a sphere. Well, a damn near sphere that if you shrunk it down to the size of a pool ball, it'd be as smooth as a pool ball, but it's actually an oblate spheroid that's basically pear-shaped, and it's the elevation of Mount Everest higher at the equator, and it bulges out, but you just can't really tell in our cartoon pictures we show you that are perfect spheres. They claim that a vacuum is encompassing gas pressure, which of course violates the second law. Entropy would increase and the gas pressure would immediately seek equilibrium. Water doesn't bend convexly and adhere to the exterior of a sphere. Water always conforms to its container and it seeks level. That's why we have sea level, because it's level. That's how we have elevations. We measure distance above sea level, assuming that it is in fact, well, level. And the oceans of course have a depth, which means they're contained, and we have gas pressure, which means it's contained. The Earth isn't moving. There's no evidence for that at all. In fact, none of the practical usability that we have with almost majority of every sector that we use every single day wouldn't work the way that it does if the Earth was spinning. You also have semicircular canals within your vestibular system, which is in your ears, and it helps you seek equilibrium and balance and spatial understanding and reasoning. So if you are not able to attain spatial reasoning, and your semicircular canals within your vestibular system detect angular momentum, but we never do, well, the Earth isn't spinning. And when the sun sets, it doesn't mean that you're falling backwards. The horizon is horizontal. We could go on forever. We text the convexity rate or supposed convexity rate of terra firma, i.e. the curvature. There should be physical obstruction based on a radius claim. It is nowhere. We falsified it. You don't live there. So anything that requires the assumption of this being a planetary body moving in some planetary orbital trajectory based on the bending and warping of fabric of concepts cannot be true, cannot be accurate, and you must understand this going forward. So they didn't build a freaking base on the moon or Mars. You can't do that. That is stupid. Outside of that, the point is, yeah, they have been getting orders and working with a council of guardians or a council of light beings. And this is the Watchers, the fallen angels themselves. And in fact, they get their marching orders from the rebellious angels, also called the planets. So this is way deeper than you think. And what does it mean when it says that they got to Mars? What's going on with Mars? What is Mars? What exactly does that represent? Oh, they're doing something. They're working out some plan of war with the quote-unquote god of war, Mars. Everything's embedded and everything is deeper than you think, but it is not meaningless. It is not just all pointless lies. It's tactical lies. They're covering something big and important and real that's really going on, and they just shroud it in pseudoscientific nonsense. Anyway, moving on.
On Mars.
Well, this is quite a story, and it comes from the man who headed Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years. Chaim Eshed is making the extraordinary claim that the United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years, not immigrants.
Oh, this guy, this dude never got picked on in high school. I gotta put this on the. This is pretty funny. Geopolitically, we in the field. That's for Israel. That's what the aliens are saying. The aliens are bumping my song in the spaceship because they know they just work for Israel. I'm trying to decide if we should rock out with this one. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Okay, we got this one. This is 1. Put the number y'all think I should use. This is number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. And this is number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Tell me what y'all think. I don't know what I expected here. I'm going to get a bunch of different numbers, and I'm still a bunch of people are saying 1. 1 or 4. A bunch of people are saying 1. Y'all like the real big one? They're saying bubble stands out rounded. All right. Well, thanks for the cooperation. A bunch of people are saying 4. I think 4 is cool where it's like all symmetrical here. All right, we're just going to move on. Sorry. Let's try that one. I want to move away from 1. I used it for a long time, and it's freaking huge, dude. All right, anyway, sorry for the distraction. So, yeah, let's just move on. I mean, I think I covered that you should be able to apply discernment here. So, come on. This dude's clearly just about as gay as they come. Probably is the good way to put it.
But extraterrestrial.
Oh, but there's a globe back here, guys. This guy's on the Globers team. If you're a Glober in here, look, this is the kind of guys you have on your team.
He has called them the Galactic Federation of Aliens, and he says President Trump is aware of the existence of these aliens and had been on the verge of revealing their secrets, he claims, but was asked not to do so by the Federation in order to prevent what he calls mass hysteria. Well, the retired general said the US and Israel have kept it from the public because, quotes, humanity isn't ready and the aliens don't want to reveal themselves until humanity can evolve, he says, and understand what space really is.
Yeah, and I've said this a ton of times. I'm sure a bunch of people have. It's not like a real complicated or complex prediction, but this is how the Great Deception happens. The New World Order is attained. This is how it goes down. This is the deception. They come in and they say, well, we've been keeping an eye on you. In fact, we visited you back in the day or whatever. We're here to tell you all the secrets of what really happened, where you've really gone, how crazy your history's been. And, you know, there are powerful people that are controlling you that are evil here, and we've come to step in and help you. You are on the precipice of going one way or the other. You are facing all kinds of disease, etc. We've been waiting until you got to a point where you were spiritually ready as a people to take the next spiritual step of growth into transmutation or finding oneself of enlightenment. Now we think you're finally ready for the step as we've sat idly by, patiently waiting for your spiritual growth to allow us to come and present ourselves to you. We think you are now ready. People will all think they're the special boy. Special boy syndrome will then spread like wildfire. It will be the actual contagion. Everyone will think they're the special boys in the Aquarius age, at their time to be the light beings, that they've come and presented themselves. And all it is you put your differences aside. You understand that you yourself are God. You have tons of power. You have to reach your enlightenment state. Then you'll supersede and overcome mortality. You must pursue peace and prosperity as an entire world of one. And under peace, prosperity, and love, you will take the next spiritual step of growth. And that will be the Great Deception, something to that effect. So you wonder why I'm so confident in that. That's how could you know? How could you possibly know? Well, I don't know for sure. But if you put the pattern recognition together of all the things they're conditioning everyone, the new age theology is what I just told you. Let's all come together, peace, love, and prosperity. Everyone that thinks they're woke or they're agnostic or they're spiritual, but they know religion's fake or whatever, they all say the same thing. Peace and love and prosperity. Let's do away with war. Let's all come together. We should all help each other out. Oh, there's no one religion. They're all right, but they're all wrong at the same time. I'm a special boy. Astral projection. I can become a god. Oh, enlightenment. Let's all come together. And it's going to get real weird. It's going to get real, I don't know. It's just going to become where everyone's basically a robot that just thinks based on what the crowd thinks anyway in a world.
Well, the good news is that he claims an agreement has been reached between the US government and the aliens, a contract to do experiments here. There's also, he says, a secret underground base on Mars where there are American and alien representatives. This former head of a branch.
Okay, so you got to know not to trust the grabblers already. You should know that, but that's just an inversion of the truth. There isn't an underground base on Mars. They have underground things built on Earth. They've actually inverted Zion itself. This is even told you in the Matrix as well, right? Zion's below, whatever. They build their bunch of stuff underground, and are they interacting with some type of entities that would maybe seem wild to the unopened mind? Maybe that's possible, and that's what they're trying to tell you. They're talking to aliens in an underground, bunker on Mars. Well, no, maybe they're just talking to some crazy entities. Whether that communication even be within the physical, perceivable material world or not, right? Like you can communicate within the ultimate spectrum of vibrations that exist beyond your perceivable eye without actually physically sitting down talking to someone at my desk. Anyway, moving on, in a world where no one knows what the world is, who will prevail?
Of Israel's defense ministry is 87. He was very well respected. He says he's come forward now in the hope that his news will be accepted as true. He notes that if he'd made these claims 5 years ago, he would have been hospitalized, but now he says, I've got nothing to lose. Well, so far, President Trump has not tweeted about this, though remember a year ago, he did set up the Space Force as the 5th branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. Well, we did ask the White House, the Department of Defense, and Israeli officials to comment. So far,
Is that a woman? What is that? What is that? Anyway.
They have not responded to the NBC News request, and I wonder if they ever will.
The topic of a secret space program is believed had its roots, at least in part, to remind the world of his efforts.
In physics, you have a Master of Science in electronics, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You have brought on to me an awful lot of information about about Nazi Germany and the technology that they had in the 40s. Now, I am absolutely astounded by the information that you have to share with us. You have told us about these pictures and
in one sentence, while researching UFOs in general and the terrestrial component of the alien presence in particular, namely secret terrestrial programs that have been dealing with anti-gravity and secret space programs for the last almost 100 years. I realize that a lot of these secret projects are covered up behind the alien smokescreen and later on launder to the general public as an alien technology gift to us. And in order to pull the carpet from under the feet of the government, or let's call it the party line American ufology.
This dude looks like you could just like put both your hands on his shoulders and just squeeze together and break him in half. I thought I was, well, look at this guy. This guy's got to be like 5'3". Anyway.
I've been doing research on Nazi UFOs on the 50 or more.
If this dude isn't a grabbler, I don't even know what a grabbler is. Can you give me a better depiction of a grabbler, please? He's got a... Oh, we'll just leave it there.
Basically different models of craft that the Germans built before and during the Second World War, powered by every engine that was in production in Germany at the time, by piston engines, Wankel engines, turbojet engines, ramjet, pulse jets, rocket engines, and the final and most advanced models were powered by magneto, electro.
Look, dude, he just can't. His hands have got to get back together. Like he can only go like 5 seconds with his hands apart. Watch him. They're just like magnets getting drawn into each other. He's got to rub his hands together.
Magneto, electromagneto drives. These are the most basically no moving part drives. But in order to convince someone that this massive research and development.
Wait, what did he say?
Electromagnetic drives.
Electromagnetic gravitic drive. Okay, yeah. Some may say electrogravitic propulsion, magnetic levitation, quantum locking. Let's check that out right now. in a world. Okay. I'm out. All right. Ooh. Ooh. Let's check it out.
The phenomenon we saw here for a brief moment is called quantum levitation and quantum locking. And the object that was levitating here is called a superconductor.
All right, I'm not going to do this to you guys. We're going to go back to the 2 times. Just watch this effect. If you've never heard it, quantum locking, magnetic levitation, same thing.
Activity is a quantum state of matter, and it occurs only below a certain critical temperature. Now, it's quite an old phenomenon discovered 100 years ago. However, only recently, due to several technological advancements, we are now able to demonstrate to you quantum levitation and quantum locking. So, a superconductor is defined by two properties. The first is zero electrical resistance, and the second is exposed to gas.
Oh my.
This is quantum locking, actually locking, three-dimensional locking of superconductors. Now, of course, I can turn it upside down, and it will remain locked.
See that?
Now to understand that this levitation, so levitation is actually locking, rearrange the electrons, and it will be locked in different configuration, like this, or move it slightly
Look at
to
that.
the right or to the left. So, this quantum locking, actually locking, three-dimensional locking of the superconductor. Now, of course, I can turn it upside down, adjust, and I can rotate the superconductor. We have frictionless motion rail here. And when I place the superconducting disk on top of this rail, it moves freely. And again, that's not all. I can adjust its position like this and rotate, and it freely moves in this new position. And I can even try a new thing. Let's try it for the first time. I can take this disk and put it here. And while it stays here, don't move.
Magnetic levitation.
Rotate the track. And hopefully, if I did it correctly, it stays suspended.
Look at this dude's such a soundbite. All right, anyway. Y'all get the phenomena. Electrographtic propulsion. Better yet, magnetic levitation. This is how they could attain what we would consider to be wild speeds, capability of stopping on a dime, changing directions. We would also need to know the characteristics of the medium, the differential in the medium as you get higher, and actually how the entire electric environment alters or is different closer to what is acting as the container. If it has some type of magnetic properties, you could in fact begin to experience magnetic levitation properties proportionate to how high you get, right? Proportionate to your proximity to the container itself. And this is what I think is going on. They kind of show you truth hidden in plain sight. They look, oh, weightlessness, people float in space. Well, there may be some truth to the idea of floating as you get higher in the air. And again, magnetic levitation is all you would have to do. This is a very, very old video, an interview here, and this has been known about for a long time. And this is Mr. Trieber did to aliens and all this other stupid nonsense. But anyway, you want to know how they built pyramids that were exactly the same with the exact same architecture all over the world back in the day? They could just travel the whole world, guys. It's not even complicated. In a world.
The most basically no moving part drives, but in order to convince some diameter of about 30 feet.
Germans. This is about what the Germans were working on.
And the joint project. This was the first operational interceptor fighter saucer that was built by Balonso, Meter, and Shriver.
Okay, it doesn't matter. No one cares. Real fast, then we're going to go and we're going to listen to Warner Van Braun's Bleach-Haired Lady, and I'm going to let that play for a little bit in case no one's ever heard it. But very simply, what that guy's discussing is as early as the 30s, the Germans were experimenting with electrogravitic propulsion, magnetic levitation. They used numerous different devices, different top-out speeds, different aerodynamic engineering and blueprints. This was discovered a long time ago. There's nothing new under the sun, and this isn't even like new within the last 100 years. So anyway, the Germans were working on all this, obsessed with Antarctica, using all these technologies more so at their real base in Antarctica, which had nothing to do with Germany, really. That's not where they kept themselves. They were in pursuit of the secrets knowledge. They were, of course, working on behalf of the groups that are in charge of both sides of every war. Anyway, suppose they came over to America through Operation Paperclip 3 decades later and brought us rockets. So they were working on electrogravitic propulsion, magnetic levitation, and UFOs, spacecraft in the 30s. And then 3 decades later, they brought us rocket propulsion technology to go to a second law-defying medium and land on a rock that spins the perfect speed. We only see half of it for all recordable history. Oh, that seems legit. That checks out. All right, so I'm going to play this video. Here we go. This is Warner Van Braun, the creepy Grappler SS officer's little buddy who he was talking to all the time, who was like basically his press secretary towards the end of his life. Let's hear some more of what she has to say.
I'd like to know more about this. Would somebody tell me what this is about? Nobody answered. They went on with this meeting as though I hadn't said anything.
Dr. Carol Rawson is one of over 450 witnesses who have come forward with inside information that they were told to shut up about. That first clip was from the Disclosure Project Witness Testimony series on Google Video. Listen to what she says, because I believe it could be very important. Here's what she said at the press club in Washington in 2001.
Good morning. My name is Carol Rawson. In 1974, after being a 6th grade school teacher, I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space. And I said, teachers don't stop until June. He said, no, you have to understand, this is February. And we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system. The first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat. Well, at the time, I kind of laughed when he said asteroids, and when he said extraterrestrials, I knew I wasn't going to deal with that subject. And now we hear in the news just today, this week, that they've slid in another enemy. Only this time we're going to protect our satellites. In other words, we have to have some reason to spend these trillions, to waste these dollars on a space-based weapon system, and they're all lies. This is a system, he told me, that would never protect anyone. Even back then, he talked about suitcase bombs. He talked about chemical, viral, bacterial, biological warfare, that these space-based weapons would never protect us against. And then he told me that, in fact, if you travel around the world, which I did after he died in 1977, I met with people in over 100 countries who were friends. They didn't want to build space-based weapons. I became a space and missile defense consultant. And I worked with people around the world. I became an advisor to the People's Republic of China. They don't want to build a space-based weapon system. And he told me back then that they didn't. He said, go to Russia. They're considered to be the enemy. I got on a plane by myself. When I got to Russia, I had a list of people that I had read out of the newspaper. Chernenko was in office then. He was the only one I didn't get a chance to meet. They introduced me to everyone when I got there. And when I got back, I said, oh my Lord, this man is telling the truth. There is no threat. And I've been waiting until this day for 27 years, and I'm expecting the spin to happen, because he also explained to me that as a military strategist, as a person who worked on the MX missile, which I did later, he said, you will find that there is going to be a spin to find some enemy against whom we have to build space-based weapons. And now we should expect the spin, because he said part of the formula for the intelligence community is if they might have a weapon, then we have to consider that they do have these weapons. So now they do have these weapons, so now we have to build these weapon systems. And that's the formula, except that it's all based on a lie. And we have witnesses here today that have shown you that these extraterrestrial beings, that these craft that have come here are now not UFOs, they're identified flying objects, and we know that they have beings in them. And we have witnesses here who have told you that they can shut down our missile silos, they can stop a rocket going into space.
Oh, shut up.
We have, and I will testify before the Congress that 177. And I will testify before the Congress that when I founded the Institute for Security and Cooperation in Outer Space, which I shut down a few years ago because I didn't believe we had a chance with this huge, integrated around the world, complex weapon system, that we had any chance at all of transforming that war industry into a space industry that could provide benefits, like Dr. Greer has said, of global warming. We can end that situation of that problem. We can end the energy crisis. We're on beams, problems on Earth and in industry, and with all the cultures on Earth and with all the extraterrestrial cultures in space. And these are words that Werner von Braun told me in 1974. And I will testify before the Congress under oath about everything I have said and more. Thank you.
Someone said, yep, she eats aborted fetuses.
Note the part about first it will be the Russians, then it will be the terrorists, then it will be the final card will be the faked alien invasion. This is what she said back in 2001, before 9/11 happened. And those of you who have been keeping up with 9/11 and the truth movement and information that has come out about the attacks know that the so-called war on terror is a complete lie, and we were never after Osama bin Laden, and that's all being exposed now, just like the fake WMDs were exposed in Iraq. Most people are too propagandized that they are unwilling to believe this.
That's pretty funny, dude. That's a pretty funny picture right there.
And won't even look into the evidence. The rest don't care because they don't think it concerns them, or because they feel powerless to do anything about it.
Or more so because they're really weak and they just want to fit in with everyone else, and that's what it actually is. In a world. All right, guys, that's pretty much the dealio. So the Space Force itself is actually a play on telling you that they're waging war with the Heavenly Saints. Oh, how dare you? Whatever, dude. Please go on with your day. I'm sure if you think nothing's going to happen or nothing's going on, then it'll just go away. I'm sure if you think water bends around the outside of a ball, it'll just be that way. You know, like, let's get real. Oh, look, I'll show you this too. All right. In a world where the creepy little grabbler Elon Musk is putting Starlinks all in the sky and no one cares because they're scared of air. Aren't they so pretty? Look at their star winks. Oh, there's just thousands of these above your head. No big deal. Oh, look, they're shooting lasers to one another. Wow, interference patterns. What could you ever do with that? Oh, you could project a hologram with that. but you would have to make sure that all of the Starlinks are actually able to transmit back and forth with imagery live time, more so projection of light, which is light projected, but whatever. Look at that. This is real. This is really in the sky right now. By none other than the guy who wants to put chips in your brain. Yeah. Look at that. Now imagine when they use these things and you don't see their light, you don't see their lights, but you see an image projected in the sky. I mean, that's wild. This is actually in our sky as of 2020, once they shut the whole world down. And now they're getting on Fox News talking about aliens. They put this in the sky. It's just a coincidence, I guess, that they put it there. It's probably just a coincidence that happened in 2020. Probably coincidence. I really like the show from earlier today. We need more shows like that, please. Cool, I got you. I'll do more streams during the day where I just migrate through Discord and let y'all sit in on some of the convos. Because if I'm going to be on there, I'm basically making content anyway. I might as well let y'all sit in on it. So yeah, if more people want to see me just occasionally debate or something like during the day, a random stream like that on Discord, then I'm down. It's whatever. I don't know if I'll keep going in that place. That place is so toxic. It's almost unbearable. But anyway. So let's see. I wanted to show y'all something else. I got to find it. All right, let's go on over here to history. Yeah, let's see what the creepy little Elon Musk guy says. He straight up tells you, how they have to straight up tell you to your face what's going on? Y'all just wait. You just wait, buddy. Boom.
Yeah. Like how do we make Star Trek real? The public does, if I may just say, like what what the public wants, I think, and we're actually pretty confident that the public does want this, is Starfleet Academy. Like yeah. Like how do we make Star Trek real? That'd be pretty amazing. I would love that.
He looks like a Ninja Turtle too. Is that like a prerequisite to be in the club? To like look like a Ninja Turtle?
Pretty amazing. I would love that. So I think like the fastest we can make sort of Starfleet real, then we should try to do that.
Well, so Elon, speaking.
Okay, so just straight up tells you we want to make it just like Starfleet. Just like Starfleet again from Star Trek. He tells you we want to make it like Starfleet. He straight up told you that. He just straight up told you that. Now we're going to come back over here and I'm going to play for you. Listen to the whole outline of what Starfleet is. I'm going to play this again. It's like a minute long. Listen carefully to all the details of Starfleet from Star Trek. Keep in mind that Elon Musk, the guy who just put all of those things that we just showed you, all of the different Starlink shooting lasers, wants to put a chip in your brain. They're putting 5G towers all over the place, intersecting a network system with these Starlinks. All right, keep all that in mind. Keep in mind, like we want to make like basically a Starfleet Academy for real. We want to do just like what? We want to make Star Trek a reality. That's why they conditioned you with Star Trek, so you will be able to accept this, right? Starfleet Academy, of course, is where they train to go to space, but it's on Earth. So they have the Space Force. They're comparing it to Star Trek. Now listen to exactly what the parameters are of this utopian world of the future, which is like in 2041, which we know our calendar's way off. So when is that actually? Is there a way to maybe get closer to the true timeline if you take 2041 and you compare it to the actual year they came out and announced Space Force, and then you start to figure out how far off we are, about 122 years. That's just a stretch. It's a huge stretch, though. That would be like Star Trek has the right timeline. Anyway, just keep in mind how it's applicable to today. Space Force has come out. They've pressed, the vice president's come out. Look, we're going to name them Guardians. And they're really pressing this super heavy right now. Okay, now what is it that means they're pressing? They want us to have a Starfleet Academy. They want us to be like Star Trek in reality. What does that mean? What is the Star Trek reality? Well, listen carefully to what it is, because it's all it is. It's just they just follow science fiction scripts. That's literally all that they do every single time. So let's check it out.
And that's the structure that you see located to the right of the screen. Does it look familiar to you at all? If you're a fan of the Star Trek series, this is the location where they filmed the scenes with the Starfleet Academy on Earth, also referred to as the Space Academy, used for the education and training of individuals for service in Starfleet. The Academy motto was Ex Astris Scientia, in Latin meaning knowledge comes from the stars. The Space Academy was said to be founded in the year 2161, or established in some form before the founding of the Federation, or the United Federation of Planets, the name for the fictional interstellar government that sent Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, and the crew of the Starship Enterprise on its mission of peaceful exploration.
All right, listen.
Commonly referred to as the Federation, it was introduced in the television show Star Trek and represented an interstellar union of planetary governments that agreed to exist semi-autonomously under a single central government based on the principles of universal liberty, rights, and equality, and to share their knowledge and resources in peaceful cooperation, scientific development, space exploration, and mutual defense.
And again, of course, obviously sodomy and dressing up young girls half naked. But let's listen to it one more time. Listen to all the characteristics.
Total right single central government exists semi-autonomously under a single central government based on the principles of universal liberty, rights, and equality, and to share their knowledge and resources in peaceful cooperation, scientific development, space exploration, and mutual defense. The total number of formal member worlds was over 150 in the
Oh, there's nothing to see here, guys. This is all just coincidence. Just coincidence. Listen to the creepy Graveler Pence. All right, I got one more for you. Let me look at this. In a world.
We mentioned George also asked President Trump about reports of UFO sightings, and the president for the first time spoke about being briefed on this subject.
You and I, we know we disagree about that, but we have a whole day ahead to go on this. Before we go, one of the things you have as president is the access to all the information in the world, all the mysteries out there. And I was just struck in the last couple of weeks, we're reading more and more reports of Navy pilots seeing lots and lots of UFOs. Have you been briefed on that? What do you think of it?
I think it's probably. I want them to think whatever they think. They do say. I mean, I've seen, and I've read, and I've heard, and I did have one very brief meeting on it. But people are saying they're seeing UFOs. Do I believe it? Not particularly.
Do you think you'd know if there were evidence of extraterrestrials?
Well, I think our great pilots would know. And some of them really see things that are a little bit different than in the past. So we're going to see. But we'll watch it. You'll be the first to know.
I want to be the first to know.
Welcome back to our special. You gave an interview the other day in which you said you've been briefed on unidentified flying objects. Are they real?
Well, I don't want to really get into it too much, but personally, I tend to doubt it. I mean, you have people that swear by it, right? And pilots have come in and they said, and these are pilots that are not pilots that are into that particular world, but we have had people saying that they've seen things.
I'm not a believer, but I guess anything's possible.
We spoke to a government official recently who said the U.S. government had wreckage from a UFO in a facility on Air Force Base. Are you familiar with that?
I haven't heard that. No, I haven't heard that. It has not been within government. It has not been a big thing, but I've seen it. I've seen it on your show, but I've seen it. I don't assume it's correct, but I have an open mind, Tucker.
You too, Mr. President. Thank you for that.
Nowadays, you can believe anything, right?
There you go. My boy North Star pointed out a good point I should have called out. So the captain's name on Star Trek, Picard, Captain Picard. Who's the Picard that we've all heard of? Admiral, or Picard, the guy that went up and saw that the Earth was clearly flat. The first guy to go up as high as he did. And they just, August Picard, right? And so that's what they named the freaking... Wow, dude. Oh, yeah, in a world. Oh, Star Trek, they're trying to make it come real. Again, to kind of break down what we're saying here. All they do is write science fiction books, and then they tell you about it a few years later. That's all they do. So... Warner Van Braun writes this book right here, Project to Mars in the 50s. Main character's name is Elon. The main character named Elon discovers the first, or establishes the first civilization on Mars. Oh, probably just a coincidence. From the Earth to the Moon, Jules Verne basically predicts play-by-play the actual moon landing. Oh, H.G. Wells adds all kinds of aspects, perfectly predicting the moon landing. So about 50 to 70 years out, what they always do is they show you, or they put out a science fiction book, and then about 50 to 70 years later, they tell everyone that it really happened. And that's all we're experiencing right here. So just wanted to point that out. And yeah, that's the whole point here. This is all script. Star Trek is basically a script they're going to tell you is going to come real. And they had to condition the people for decades to accept it, all the way down to the very academy itself being representative of Space Force. And that's why, of course, they didn't really change it. They just straight up basically kept the exact same symbol, because they operate through symbolism. It's a Gnostic understanding of the fact that you're showing the person that you're casting the spell on the very spell itself in a world.
Now, metal gondola, which will bring us into the stratosphere. We are going to be lifted up there by wind hydrogen. That hydrogen will lift us in a place where nobody can breathe and live. But inside we'll have wind oxygen, which makes good and the hydrogen makes bad, and makes a very comfortable living place for us. Here, I would like to show you the inside, but there are too many people. I couldn't all go into this gondola. There are little space. That's enough space for Lieutenant Commander to settle, the pilot, and the...
Dude, shut up. Whatever, this dude went up into space, dude. He said the Earth looks flat. Now, here's a famous commercial regarding that story.
When a man reaches the edge, after he goes as far as any man can possibly go, how does his son continue?
It's straight up showing you this dude went up in the air, and it's showing you there's water up there. This is a Hennessy commercial. Guys, get out of here.
After he goes as far as any man can possibly go, how does his son continue?
They show you right there, dude. I'm just like, look. right there. This is the eye seems to be maybe exactly mirroring what creation itself is, this being the firmament with a central point, just like your eyes can't be explained. And it ties into what you can perceive. What is the perceivable material world? It's based on the way that your optics were engineered. It's showing you dome.
How does the sun continue?
Water. What's that? What's that represent? Some type of spirits or something? What is that? August Picard became the first man to reach the stratosphere. In 1960, his son became the first man to reach the ocean's deepest point. Okay, so anyway. And that dude's name is Picard, and then what's the dude's name in Star Trek? Oh, Picard. Oh, they use the same exact freaking symbol, basically. They're just laughing at you. The world's a stage. Oh, shout out to all the legends helping a brother out. Yeshua is Lord. Wilson, thank you very much for the Lambo. You are the man. Thank you. Anthony, my man, top contributor with 3,000 lemons. You're the man. Thank you very much, Prognostic, for the lemons. And again, thank you, Wilson75, for the lemons. Y'all are all legends. Hitting your boy with some lemons in D-Live. And also, y'all are all legends getting me to 1,000. Cracker, we made it. We made it to 1,000. We should be verified partners now. And the next is global partner. I don't even know if I want that nonsense. Do I even want to be a global partner? I don't know. Oh, yeah, something else, a little bit of news here. So apparently there are memberships on YouTube. And I just saw where it's like has this notification on my thing I just constantly ignore telling me that I haven't done it yet. So I was like, okay, I set up memberships. I guess I have to be approved or whatever. So I'm going to have memberships on YouTube. I don't really know what that means or anything. Yeah, I just went with like the 5 popular level increments. So whatever. I mean, I just figured if someone wants to support, there's an additional way, you know, a monthly membership on YouTube. I didn't make it to where everybody has like advantages. I put member only chat as the advantage for all the memberships on YouTube. So maybe occasionally we'll have a member only chat or something. I don't really care, but I wasn't going to like bribe people into supporting me. I think that's super lame. So I wasn't going to be like, oh, member only chat. You get to talk to me on camera in private. Oh, you get to text message me. Now you get my Snapchat. You know, like that's lame. It's like, you support me or don't. It's whatever, right? But just so y'all know, I am adding that on there to see. We'll see what happens. I don't really know anything about that, but now y'all know. Thank you, Austin. Glory to God, bro. Thank you, man. I agree. Austin, you should move to Theta.tv. I don't know what that is. I see a whole bunch of unplugged legends in here, though. What a bunch of legends. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much everything I've got for you guys here. We'll finish this out, though. In a world.
And I tend to agree with them. The criminals who caused 9/11, who had the connections to all the inside security at the World Trade Centers and the cooperation of the intelligence community in the White House will never be prosecuted for their crimes. They got away with it. And even if by some miracle we did open up a congressional investigation, prosecute those responsible for 9/11 and put them all in prison, it would be like putting a Band-Aid on a cancer. 9/11 was only a symptom, and we need to treat the disease. Because once the war on terror fails to give the government a reason to funnel billions of taxpayer dollars to corporate interests, they will simply find another excuse. Here we have insiders warning us that aliens will be used as the next excuse. This is why I have been warning people about the 2012 stuff, and to be very skeptical about it if and when first contact happens. Don't believe it right away. I know you want to. The people in charge are using all this money to build an Orwellian-style police state. This is the type of future that they feel most comfortable with because they have always been in power, and now that they are beginning to lose their power, they are very, very scared. They don't want the kind of future that you and I want. They want everything to stay the same or go back.
All right, whatever. That was boring. All right, cool. So basically, yeah, they're making a play. I'm gonna hit y'all with all the gravy I can put together real fast. I mean, we don't have time to get into all the gravy with this discussion. I think everyone kind of knows that. I don't really have a 4-hour stream in me right now. I love you guys. I just simply do not have that in me. But this ties into what were the Nazis really up to? Who even are the Nazis? What does that mean? Who were they really working for? Who were they working against? Were they really out here working by themselves? No, of course not. The world's a stage. What were they doing in Antarctica? Why were they so obsessed with it? Are there any truth to the stories that there are civilizations underneath the ice in Antarctica? They seem to have been bases there. It seems like Admiral Byrd actually helped found the first Masonic Lodge in Antarctica. That's pretty interesting. And so you have to ask yourself, well, what's really going on here? What are they really doing? And so that's all the way back in World War II, which you'll never get to the bottom of the graveled history of World War II, but you can start to piece the puzzles together, right? They went to Argentina. They went to Antarctica. There's something special about Antarctica. There's no telling. It might be as simple as it's closer to the firmament itself, and I think that makes them special boys that they can get out of it. So anyway, then we have, of course, NASA found within a year of the Antarctic Treaty, which stemmed back to Operation High Jump. Many people, and according on the surface of some of the declassified documents, which most of Operation High Jump is still classified, if you don't know that. But the parts that are publicly known, it's said that it was just an exploration. It was exploration based on scientific purposes, and they just went there with a scientific team. Many other people seem to give conflicting narratives as if there was actually a war of sorts, a battle of sorts, and that they fought the more advanced section of the Nazi regime and that they basically got their ass handed to them is the story. Pardon my language. So we're not really sure exactly what happened, but we weren't told the truth. I mean, we never are. So anyway, you fast forward to now, the government's been lying about ancient civilizations, saying that they were primitive. They've been lying about our technological capabilities. They've been lying about UFOs. They've been lying about the nature of the Earth. They've been lying about the nature of space. They've been lying about going to space. All of a sudden, they come out and admit, hey, we've been lying to you. You've been working with aliens behind your back for decades and meeting with them and even have bases or something. But now we're going to come out and decided we just had we had to look ourselves in the mirror. We're like, we need to come clean with the people. So we're going to start a mainstream syndicated television TV show called Ancient Aliens on History Channel, where we just tell you all these stories about ancient civilizations. In fact, it came from extraterrestrial aid, and that's the only way they were technologically advanced. UFOs, if there's any truth to anything to do with some type of discovery of technology that was advanced, I actually think that's quite possible. If you were to eliminate the Vatican or something, they probably already knew about it. But anyway, from what I've found out, these quote-unquote UFOs, which are very much so identified, and they operate simply with magnetic levitation, they're not even actually complex. They were archaeological discoveries. Michael Line 777, love you, brother. Love you, bro. Thank you very much for the super chat. You are the man. And Jesse, I just saw you on Cash App. Thank you for the Cash App. Jesse, you are the man. Thank you, guys. So, yeah, they're just trying to tell you this story about how aliens came and helped us out, even though they lied to you the entire time. And apparently you people, not you people in my chat or anything like that, of course, but people were just going to believe them, even though they were lying to them the whole time. So JFK, Trump is basically our JFK psyop. JFK was the spearhead, the idea of space exploration in its infancy. We're going to go to the moon. Oh, they killed him. Oh, whatever. We went to the moon. And then his gay boyfriend's name was the same as the module that landed on the moon. Fast forward to now. Trump's the same character as JFK. It's the same psyop, only it's much more advanced and it has much bigger plans, much bigger infrastructure updates within the script, within this player in the script, but it is the same psyop. Oh, people aren't trusting the system anymore. We're going to put someone in there that isn't a typical politician. They're going to drain the swamp. They're going to drain the corruption. They're the ones that are going to fight the corruption in the system. They're going to give speeches that call out the news for being fake, that call out the fact there's a little group of people behind the scenes that manipulate and subvert things. He's a hero of the people. Does that mean that Trump gets assassinated? Maybe so. If it was an identical recycling of the psyop, yes, he would indeed get killed. Maybe he appears to get killed and comes back. I don't know. Then we're getting in real son of perdition territory, man of lawlessness territory, antichrist territory. But I can't really, make any claims as to if that's going to happen or not. But anyway, JFK talks about the moon. Trump talks about Space Force. The JFK files became declassified under the Trump administration. They still redacted parts of it. This is all scripts, and he's going to come out and tell you about JFK. He's going to come out and tell you about aliens. He's going to come out and tell you about the corruption of the Federal Reserve. He's going to tell you about how bad our debt is. He's going to tell you about all these people working for China on both sides of the aisle. he's going to be revered as a hero. When he tells everyone about aliens and removes the debt, everyone's like, oh, I love Trump now because people are stupid and greedy and surface level, nihilistic morons. So basically what seems to clearly be happening is they're engineering a setting in which, you know, the environment is everyone just dying for this alien disclosure, and, you know, they're going to get it, is my opinion. And this is integrated with the Space Force. Isn't necessarily going to be the idea that we're fighting aliens in space. It's just going to be that there's a responsibility of Earth to have a representation within space. And they might just straight up come out and use Trump to tell you there's this intergalactic, you know, group of aliens, and people are going to believe it. The government's not going to come out and admit they lied just to lie again, or whatever they use, you know. So whatever, they're trolling you. They're using like the Star Trek freaking scripts right in front of your face. And that's why in Aiden Picard, just like my boy North Star said, that's why they have a Starfleet Academy in that movie. And that's why they told you exactly how the world's supposed to be whenever you're utilizing the Star Trek ideology or worldviews, right? It's a unification, a monolith of belief. Everyone shares everything. So it's just a giant communistic, it's basically just a giant commune of psychopathic Luciferians that do as they will. So that's clearly what they're doing. They're just playing the script out in front of you because they want a world order. They're going to introduce light beings to do this. They're going to say you're a special boy and that you're going to become enlightened. You're going to become a god. Y'all are lied to. In fact, they were advanced back then because we helped them out. They did things that you wouldn't even believe. They had electricity. Oh, look, you're being controlled by these people. Just little truths here and there. And then people are just so desperate for answers at this point, so empty and void of moral conviction that they will just consume whatever story they're told. So my advice would be just go tell people, like, look, I was telling people about UFOs 10 years ago, and I've personally seen like what people call UFOs in the sky so many times it's insane. So I know the phenomenon is real. It's just humans flying up there, imitating an appearance of what these watchers look like and what the angels look like. That's what it really is. It's just humans that are imitating it. And every time they ever said that they had some type of alien abduction, that they always looked like the Germans, blonde hair, blah, blah, blah. Well, people use the technology that the watchers have helped them attain. And there's nothing under the sun. These used to be here back in the day. And again, I think that they just find archaeological discoveries, reverse engineer them. There's nothing from intergalactic civilizations or none of that nonsense. People just used to be more advanced. And they're going to swoop in. They're going to tell you, like, look, here's all the religions are wrong, but they're all right whenever they're talking about treat others the way you want to be treated. And it's all about love. Let's all come together. The only one true religion is love and unity and peace and prosperity. Let's put down the guns. Let's get rid of the nuclear bombs. We've come to aid you into the era of peace, utopian peace. All of you now have the opportunity to take that step of transmutation or spiritual enlightenment to become your full enlightened self. And people will be like, oh my gosh, teach me more, and start bowing to the quote unquote aliens. So, my chat's funny, man. Y'all are hilarious in D-Live, dude. Shout out to all legends. We got 135 in D-Live, 197 rocking out in YouTube. So I'm talking about a bunch of legends. So yeah, there you go. It's just real simple. I think y'all get it. Just prepare yourselves for the onslaught of space propaganda and alien porn that's about to come and hit you. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. I mean, there's two options here. Either they double down space or they absorb flat Earth, and it doesn't look like they're going to do that. Cool story, bro. Thank you, Rocky. I try, bro. I'm really working on my delivery and my plot lines. You know, I'm really working on my script writing ability, my delivery, and my climatic build-ups. I'm glad that you're enjoying my hard work's paying off, bro. But yeah, like I said, even Foxy is coming out telling you about it. Like, let's get real, dude. Let's get real. It's really not a big deal. And look, even this Ninja Turtle, even the Ninja Turtle told you about it. Where's the Ninja Turtle? Look, if this dude isn't a Ninja Turtle, I mean, if the Ninja Turtle told you about it, you must know. It's got to be legit. This dude's got the documents. So, all right. Must be nice. All right, nice kicking it, everybody. It's been cool, been real cool. Don't fall for the freaking aliens, bro. Like, it's just like the oldest trick in the book. No big deal. He looks just like a freaking Ninja Turtle.
On behalf of your Commander-in-Chief, let me urge each and every one of you Guardians, Airmen, Marines, and Guardians will be defending our nation for generations to come.
Boo! Where's he at with his son being like a creepy little weirdo?
Hey, NBC
Aliens exist and President Trump knows about.
News viewers, thanks for checking.
Really want to know. I want to. Before you leave office, will you let us know if there's aliens? Because this is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
I know it sounds almost ridiculous, but it's actually the real question I
Sounds
want
like
to know.
a cute question, but it's actually, there are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify? You'll take it?
Well, I'll have to think about that one.
Okay, so anyway, once again, Israeli ex-dude comes out to 87, said he wasn't going to say anything 5 years ago. He would have ended up getting killed, but now he's 87. He feels like he has nothing to lose. And then there's a galactic federation of aliens and intergalactic extraterrestrial civilizations. Trump already knows about it, contemplated declassifying it, was held off because they said that we weren't ready as a people to have them reveal themselves. Clearly, the writing's on the wall. They're getting it out into the public narrative by none other than the Grabler state themselves being the ones to spearhead it, so that you will be ready in the future when Trump comes out as a wild, loose cannon, as he supposedly is, cast in the world play as, comes out and tells you what none of the other presidents had the balls to tell you, that there are actually aliens. People are going to want to believe it. They think it's a cool story. They want to believe that we can interact with other civilizations. They want to believe that there's special boys and they can reach peak enlightenment. They want to believe that space travel is real. And they want to believe that morality is subjective and that there isn't a God and that there is, of course, a huge universe that's ever expanding and random, chaotic, unpredictable happenstance. And, of course, there are other civilizations that are advanced. And that's all it is just random evolution and the transmutation of oneself. You can actually reach that prior to mortality being achieved, or more so reached. Hopefully that was coherent enough for you to follow. It's just a stupid, like, level 1 new age, utopian woo-woo sales pitch, and people are going to fall for it hook, line, and sinker. Space Force's out looks just like Star Trek. They're trolling us. This is a script. Elon Musk put Starlinks all in the sky. They're shooting lasers, which would be used for holographic technology. Project Blue being the idea of faking an alien invasion with holographic technology, or faking the coming of some divine figure based on the geographical region, i.e. Jesus, quote unquote, which wasn't even his name, over the United States, Allah over the Middle East, or Muhammad, or whoever they wanted to, and that they actually have sonar wave capabilities or sound wave capabilities, where they can actually they can send a wave to your brain and you won't be able to know what direction the frequency is actually coming from, thus thinking it's coming from inside, combined with this depiction of whatever the prominent religious expression is of that region. You could trick them into thinking that their figure had come. This was actually proposed by the U.S. government as a potential way to subdue any type of, rebellion in the Middle East. So now you fast forward to, well, everyone's in their house scared, wearing face diapers, thinking air is going to kill them, completely incompetent based on their understanding of even the pseudoscientific foundation of virology itself. Think that putting replicated stem cells of aborted fetal tissues with tons of poisonous chemicals in them is somehow a good idea. And don't worry, now we've improved it to where, well, it's just a complete and total genetic manipulation via synthetic mRNA that guides your DNA via a computer-generated synthetic alteration of an mRNA, a messenger RNA. But anyway, no big deal. It's nothing to see here. And so everyone's just sitting on their hands, basically waiting while they go out and build this entire infrastructure with Starlinks all over the place, with 5G towers all over the place. The guy wants to put a freaking chip in your brain and test it out on pigs. Is literally tells you that you can be like a god and you'll be able to communicate without speaking and learn all different languages immediately, just like the Matrix in real life. Has now put Starlinks all over the sky that has a network surveillance system that the grid is so intricate at this point it's inescapable. And then they've built a ground network system to coordinate and transmit the data back and forth. They're even cooperating or coordinating transmissions up in the sky with one another. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of those in the sky that have been put in the sky in the last year alone. They're putting up there at an insane rate, astronomical rate, pun intended. And so what are they planning? What are they doing? They got no one looking in the sky. They're spraying the skies. They got everyone inside, and no one's looking at the sky or paying attention to the actual signs in the sky, the conjunction, the eclipses, their true meanings based on the feasts and the real calendar, based on everything we should be paying attention to at this time and all the signs that are told us based on the sequential events of the end time prophecies. And so no one knows what's going on when it comes to the sky. Everyone's just completely lost. They have no idea what this really means. And they're going to fall for the little grabbler trick that comes in and tells them some fairy tale about aliens coming to save them. And they're going to think that they're the special boys because their new age theology will be the same as the aliens. So when they say, well, I've been meditating and astral projecting, I knew I figured it out. I blasted off taking DMT and LSD and shrooms and ayahuasca and whatever else you want to take, mescaline, whatever else. Stop doing drugs, dude. But anyway, look, the aliens are just saying what I knew. Yeah, I'm the special boy, but we were right. So Donald Trump's son sitting there asking him on camera interview, are you gonna tell the truth about the aliens? Some other interviewer asked him, you gonna tell the truth about the aliens? You can say every president's asked, but not as much as Trump has been asked. Trump's been asked numerous times. Oh, drop the cherry on top. Well, Trump actually created the Space Force, and they're doubling down on space, and they're going to somehow justify the militarization of space. Really, what this is going to be is just an inadvertent sleight of hand trick to get our approval for insanely invasive technologies. Like, I don't know, maybe like a death ray, like Tesla came up with 100 years ago. So be on the lookout for whatever. All you need to do is get right with Yeshua. Get right with Yeshua, the most historically accurate figure ever. He's super real, 100%. So you have to swallow your pride and pray and seek it. If you get right with Yeshua, you don't fear things like fake aliens that are actually clearly metaphysical entities that stem by or are allegiance to the Watchers that are claiming to be extraterrestrial intergalactic civilizations because they can't touch you. And in fact, Yeshua has domain. You can actually laugh at them and mock them, and they actually have to obey you, certainly in Yeshua's name. It's hilariously ironic that they are laughably incompetent when it comes to even you if you utilize the power that you were given. Just get right with Yeshua. This stuff doesn't scare you. I don't have a reason to be scared. I know I'm not going to fall for the alien invasion. I know that God's going to help me have spiritual discernment with whatever the deception that's coming is. And that's what everyone needs to worry about. That's the primary way you're going to see this. Not watching Austin Whitsitt rant on camera trying to grow out a beard with his hat to the back. It's not reading random things on social media. It's none of that. It's reading the scriptures, it's praying, it's having spiritual discernment in the moment. There's no way you can adequately prepare for the greatest deception ever. And if Yeshua himself, the Messiah, the word that became flesh, told you, there will be no other time like this. This deception will be the greatest deception, bar none. And if it were possible, even the very elect would be deceived. I think that we should just, maybe make sure we get to the cheat code here, which is that Yeshua helps you see through the nonsense. Stop being a squirt boy. Stop watching runaways get plowed for free on camera, all owned by the same grabblers that own everything else. It closes your mind off. It's literally like a drug. It's deteriorating your capability of interpretation of data and pattern recognition, retainment capabilities, and processing capabilities. You're thus just walking around like a mind-numb zombie, drained of all your male life force, and you can't see through any of the spells. Stop watching movies so much. Stop watching so much Netflix. Stop watching so much TV shows. Stop listening to so much degenerate music. Stop watching so much porno. Stop drinking so much fluoride. Stop eating so much nonsense. Stop watching so much nonsense. Stop listening to Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber, whatever degenerates listen to, I don't really know. Stop listening to WAP, right? And then you'll start to see these patterns are very easy to put together. They're right in front of your face. I can honestly say that when I stopped watching porn, I was able to put things together a little faster. It's just weird. It's hard to explain, but the point is, I know a lot of you guys need to hear that. Just stop. I can see your browser history from here, bro. You need to chill out. You need to chill. It's getting weird. All right. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you for all the people that supported on D Live. Let me add some limits. We're about to distribute the rewards on D Live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All porn is gay porn. That's right, Nico. There it is. Yeah, joke's on you. All porn is gay porn. What if Trump was the alien all along? Isn't it funny that Trump was talking to, like, Trump's associated with alien this and alien that? Oh, illegal aliens, illegal aliens. We got to get rid of the illegal aliens. Oh, I'm from the country of Texas. The lemons are gone. The lemons are out. 100, yay. Yeah, thanks everybody for hooking me up with 1,000. Thank you for the 7 lemons, Mike line. So, cool. Must be nice. A lot warmer down there, I'm sure. All right, so, yeah, anyway, if you want to support the channel, links in the descriptions. I'll try and hit y'all with some more impromptu daytime streams, maybe where we go and just chill on Discord and dismantle some stupid worldviews. Because I've had a few people say that they enjoyed the stream earlier, so maybe I'll do that a little bit more often. Yeah, and I'll just gotta try to keep bringing the gravy. We're gonna take off around the country. The plan is in a couple weeks after mid January. So if anyone wants to donate towards the expenses of that, it would be greatly appreciated. Any donations that anyone sends right now, that's what it's going to. It's going to make sure I get all my bills straight, everything straight away, and then squared away, and then we're taking off. And yeah, if you want to support it, there you go. It's all going to work out. And PayPal Cash App is the best because they don't take anything. Shout out to all the patrons. I'll update the list. And yeah, y'all are legends. I'll have a membership on YouTube maybe tomorrow. Shout out to all the subs on DLive. And then shout out to everyone that helped me hit 1,000 follows. We maybe can get verified partner tomorrow now. And should be cool. Should be cool, man. So there you go. Who all is going on the road trip? Right now it's just Nathan Thompson and me, I think. There may be more people that tag along. I'm not sure. We're working on it. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, links in the description. You know, the ways to support. I have a P.O. box, which I won't be here in like a couple weeks. I'm not sure how long, so I won't be able to check my P.O. box. I'll have to have someone pick it up. And then we got, I'll cover this real fast. With the XRP, everyone's kind of freaking out. XRP dropped. I'll tell you all. I told everyone it's going to drop in December. In fact, I told people even a few, not too many streams ago, like when it was up real high, like around 80 cents, 70 cents, like it's good to take your profits out right now. Anyway, not financial advice, but XRP is still an incredible investment. They're trying to shake all the weak investors out, all the weak hands out. They're about to get regulatory clarity. And so when they get regulation clarity, the price is going to skyrocket. And so if you can buy it down at 20 cents, it's a good buy. I will tell you also, I'm expecting at least a couple more drops. You might can get a buy as low as 10 cents, 15, 17 cents. But I do strongly suggest that as a long-term investment, still to this day, yes, XRP is going to skyrocket. I only suggest cryptocurrency to make some money while the transfer of wealth is going on. Get it out of the beast system. Translate that into tangible wealth, sustainability, land, food, water, livestock, and actually have something to show for it, maybe even gold and silver, but not just bank on crypto for long term. Just make your money on it. And yeah, like when you always buy low, and XRP, I told everyone you could make more short-term money using other altcoins and even Bitcoin. I literally told everyone that. I said, but XRP is the best use case. It's clearly what's going to be used in the future. And it is. It's going to replace Swift. So if you don't know, it just got delisted off of Coinbase tentatively on January 19th. And so it made XRP drop a lot. But 90% of XRP isn't used in the United States. So it doesn't even matter. It's just kind of stupid. Like the United States is kind of stupid right now, but it doesn't really matter. People think the SEC is going to shut them down. No, they're going to win the lawsuit, and then XRP's price is going to shoot off, and it may never come down again. So I gave y'all my financial, like maybe y'all, I hate doing it because I know some people just left it in there and the XRP went down. They're kind of freaking out. Please tell me none of y'all sold it. If you haven't sold it, don't jump ship and sell your XRP now. The value is the tokens itself, and they're trying to shake everyone out before they go set a price. They may even actually set a price hold the tokens, dude. Hold the tokens. And this is a great buy-in opportunity. Buying in at the low. That's what you got to do. Take advantage of it. XRP is going to take off. I'm not telling you when. It's at 22 cents right now, I think. If it gets, there's going to be a couple more dips. The whole entire market still has to correct too. But there may be a couple more dips with XRP. That's when you want to buy. If you think you have a few $100s you want to put in or something, just save it till the next dip, the next correction. Throw it in there. It's going to pop back up. And don't worry about like, oh, this $1,000 went to 250 or this 1,000 went to 50. This 1,000 went to $500 or whatever, right? No, dude, it's no big deal. I told everyone to buy at 17 cents. This is where you want to buy. 17 to 25 cents is a great place to buy. Anything less than that's a great place to buy. And there's my take on it. I had a lot of people ask me about it. There you go. If people had just taken the profits and put in the Cash App like I told them to in the Cash Wallet and then bought the dips, they've been making a lot of money right now. XRP to the moon. Indeed it is, my man. Get Shrek. Thank you very much for the $20 super chat. You are the man. And I do agree. XRP is going to skyrocket. It's going to get regulatory clarity. Thank you again for the super chat, man. It's much appreciated. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. You could have made more money on different altcoins and even Bitcoin in the short term. I told everyone that in my streams when I first mentioned XRP months ago. But long term, personally, I would want XRP. I know what it's going to be used for. It's going to be used for cross-border transaction verification. So there you go. Now you know my take. Look at BTC right now, almost 30K. Yeah, BTC's. The question is though, where does this start to go? Right, the other cryptos need to watch out right now. That's what I think. But anyway, I hate to talk about that stuff too much anyway. I just wanted to give you all the takes. So I will catch up with you on the flip side. You know what I mean? All right, cool. Thanks again for all the support. Shout out to all legends in D Live. Thank you for the lemons. How do we sign up? I'm not sure what we're signing up for. Oh, for XRP. Oh, you have to have like a Coinbase account. It's a whole. Yeah, you have to have like a Coinbase, and that's a whole ordeal. You have to get verify your identity, and then it's real easy. You just buy XRP and can put it in your wallet on Coinbase. That's what I use. Coinbase is delisting XRP. You'll be able to buy or sell it January 19th, but you still get to keep your money. Guys, what they're doing is they're shaking all the weak investors out. They're trying to get all the retail investors out. Big billionaires are buying tons of XRP right now. They're signing big deals behind the scenes where they're offering a good, like a low entry price of XRP to the investors. Like if you sign a deal with us, Bank of America will give you freaking 50,000 XRP, or we'll give you $400,000 in XRP at the buy-in price of 15 cents. And that's why they want it low while they're signing these big deals, because they can sign big deals with big companies with good entry price offers. This is just a speculative market. It has no actual reflection of the usability or efficacy or even success of the XRP token. XRP actually predates Ripple. It's just a whole ordeal. I did a bunch of research in this. I don't just say things for no reason. I don't support crypto a ton other than to just make profit and then turn into tangible wealth. But y'all heard my take. That's what it is. Take it or leave it. I did a lot of research. I know for a fact that XRP is going to skyrocket, and you want to be, if you got a few $1,000 that you got sitting somewhere in this next dip by XRP, throw the money in there and your $3,000 will turn into a lot more if you can just pretend it's not there. If you're going to hold, you don't have to go in there and look at it every day. I don't really want to finish the stream just talking about crypto though. So WitsitGetsIt. No, XRP's going up. Yeah, it is. But again, not financial advice. Always be willing to lose what you invest. But more importantly, just buy low, wait for this next correction. And there you go. There could be more bad news that comes out of XRP, right? Because someone else may delist them too because of the SEC ordeal. And then it's going to drop again. And then just buy. all the people that have researched a lot on XRP, they're not selling their XRP right now. They're just buying more. All right, there you go. I'm tired of talking about it, but I knew a lot of people did ask. Thanks for all the support. Everything you support from here on out. After, of course, I get enough from, make sure I got all the expenses I have to pay here first. Going to the tour, going to be a good time. So if you want to support that, there you go. And we'll talk about that closer to the time. We'll figure out some ways to try and pull together some money. Everything's going to work out. And yeah, if I miss anybody or anybody sends me anything on Cash App or PayPal, I'll read it in the next stream, bruh. Yeah, no plans for the next stream yet. We'll see. Maybe it'll be the freaking Trump. I want to give the Trump thing a little bit of a break. So we'll come up with some more gravy, but Coinbase will not trade XRP as of January 19th. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. They're trying to shake everyone out, and it's looking like it might not even be available to buy anymore. If XRP is not available to buy anymore, game over. They're about to set the price. Everyone's going to feel stupid just sitting here not getting it. Dude, yeah, at the end of the stream, I'm getting tired. Yeah, me too. I am actually tired myself. All right, guys. I love you guys, but I got to get out of here. So, yeah, dude, don't fall for Space Force propaganda. There is no space to defy second law of thermodynamics. No space as has been identified. Ever really wonder what space is? They say it's empty, vacant, pressure adjacent, second law of thermodynamics violations, conceptual privations, conceptual dilations, physical privations, both space-time reifications. A spherical necessitation is north to south continuation, that's circumnavigation, but private exploration is forbidden with the cooperation of every major nation. But your base isn't based, so you're afraid to say this. We give NASA $60 million a day in payments for paintings and computer-generated animations. And we're tired of the calling into hating, ad homs, and obfuscation, so respond to the actual postulations. Ooh, we got bars. I forgot the rest of them. All right, y'all be cool, man. I'll catch up with y'all tomorrow. I might do a stream in the day tomorrow and run around flat smacking on Discord or something. We'll see, but we'll definitely do one tomorrow night. And shout out to everybody helping us get here, hitting 1,000 followers. Y'all are legends. Shout out to all the legends in D Live. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. Unplug from the beast system while you still have ample opportunity to do it. Start to wean off the system, to find a way to be sustainable, and just unplug from the system. Spiritually is the most important thing. You can deal with all the rest as a process. Unplug from the system. Step back. Unplug from the beast system. There is something on the horizon that's going to attempt to coax everyone into permanently plugging into that very system that you need to detach from while you still can. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll catch up with y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, Yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?